All right, well, let's go over the answers to your homework problems. All right, you had 4 of them to do. First one said, how many moles is 2.8 times 10 to the 24th atoms of silicon? So we're going to utilize this equation up here. So we have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. This one's atoms of Si per 1 mole of silicon. Right? Remember, that never changes. That's always going to be that. It's always like the idea of there's 12 in a dozen. Right? But then my question says, I don't have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. I have 2.80 times 10 to the 24th atoms of Si. And we want to know X moles of Si. Right? And don't forget that MOL is the abbreviation for mole. Okay. Now again, it seems really weird that that's the abbreviation, but it is. All right, from there, cross multiply. So we're going to have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times X. So that's times X equals 1 times 2.80 times 10 to the 24th. Now from there, now we got to get X by itself. Let me get my answers out. So we got to divide both sides by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd on both sides. Now lets me get rid of this, so now I have X all by itself. And if you type this stuff in, and remember, in order to type this in, you're going to go 2.80 exponent exp 24. Don't type in times 10. The exp button is the times 10. All right. So you type that in, and you should end up with an answer of 4.65. And what were you trying to find out? We were trying to find out moles of silicon. So that's the first answer for those. All right. All right, let's move on to the second one. Second one, we've got, they gave us, let's see, it says, how many molecules is 0.360 moles of water? So this time they gave us moles. We're still using this equation. But this time we have 0.360 moles of water. Oh, we'll have to change these, because now we're talking about water. And this is molecules of water. Okay. I also want to point out something else that is a common thing that people get mixed up on. It's totally understandable, and that is a molecule is not a mole, right? And a mole is not a molecule. What it really is, the way in which I like to describe it is molecules make up moles, just like eggs make up a dozen. Right? So this is like the eggs, and this would be like the dozen. Right? So molecules can make up moles. And remember that this is not the abbreviation for molecules. That mole is like a dozen, right? It is, I know it's confusing, but... All right, so we're trying to find out molecules of water, so that's my X. All right, cross multiply. X times 1 equals the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times 0.360. So you multiply this out, type into your computer, 6.02 exp 23 times 0.360, and then go equals. And you should end up with X equaling, you're going to get 2.17 times 10 to the 23rd. And then what we're trying to find out, molecules of water. So we got molecules. Now you can't just say molecules, because I'm going to go molecules of what? That would be like you have 2.5 dozen. Dozen what? We gotta know what it is. So it's molecules of water. All right. So you gotta tell me what this stuff is. So there's the answer for the second one. Third one. So erase this. Erase the units. All right. Third one. They say, let's see, how many atoms are there in 1.14 moles of SO3? So we've got. It's 1.14 moles of SO3. So this is SO3 and molecules of SO3. Oops. All right, so cross multiply. Oops. This is X. That's what we're trying to find out. So we're going to cross multiply X times 1 equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times 1.14. So again, type this thing into your calculator, 6.02 exp23 times 1.14, and then press equals, and you get an answer equals 6.86 times 10 to the 23rd. And that's molecules of SO3. All right. Now, one catch in the way in which this one happened to be worded is it asks for atoms. And because it asks for atoms, we have to go back to this thing and look at, well, how many atoms are in SO3? Well, there's one S and three O's. So that means there's actually 4 atoms per molecule. So we really would take this times 4. Right? And if you didn't catch this, that's all right. This is kind of a little extra piece to this. So you multiply this by 4 and you get 2.75 times 10 to the 24th. And that would now be atoms in the SO3. Right? So it's a little extra piece of that. I will tell you, I'm not going to do this to you on the test, right? But it makes it a little bit more more thought provoking. Right? Okay, so let's go to the last question. Last question says, how many moles are there in 4.65 times 10 to the 24th molecules of NO2? So we're doing molecules of NO2. And we are given 4.65 times 10 to the 24th molecules of NO2. Notice I got molecules of NO2, molecules of NO2, they're in line with each other. The bottom is X moles of NO2. So now we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to get this times X. So we have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times X equals the other way, 1 times 4.65 times 10 to the 24th. So from there we got to get X by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by this. So that lets me get rid of this and I get X all by itself. And then if you type this into your computer again, 4.65 exponent 24 divided by 6.02 exponent 23, press enter, X will end up equaling 7.72 moles of NO2. Which again, what does this mean? It means you got 7.72 dozen of these molecules. Right? But remember, it's not a dozen, it's 12, it's a dozen, it's a whole big humongous number. That number up there, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, well, that concludes this set of homework. So, yep. All right, with that, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.